a huge amount to think about in terms of the context before we even get to the idea of how do we communicate the type of things that we want to do, the policies that we want to put in place. And in terms of actually creating that communication strategy, I think you need to keep these things in mind, but then have some kind of guiding principles. I basically break down our 3 main communication goals as being to inform, to enthuse, and to engage. Obviously, we go into much more detail, like about informing people about the CAP and its contents. Enthusing, meaning like building trust in the institutions. I mean, this is something that's measured in Eurobarometers every year. And I think even most importantly is to engage. How do we offer meaningful avenues for participation for citizens, also for stakeholders as being a part of implementing the CAP? And that's a lot of work that the NSUs and the NRNs are doing.
But when you break it down into the messages, like you said, to inform, enthuse, and to engage, so you have a clear capacity to see what your values are, just like Ian said, you know, this is who we are, this is what we represent, this is really what we're all about. And then you start to show different dimensions of that. And you also need to speak to different demographics. There is not a single audience. There are micro audiences as well. And depending on your resources, you'll go deeper and deeper into dealing with those demographics. The evaluation is critical because the evaluation shouldn't come at the end of the project. It should come at various key points, milestones, where you say, well, is this working? Okay, more or less. What's going to make it better?
I think it's really important to know why you're targeting people in the first place, what you want to get from this. So when we talk about monitoring and evaluation and whether or not you've been successful, we talk about different types of engagement. Now, I would put that, if we're dealing across platforms, in 4 core areas. One is the applause rate, so the amount of likes or reactions you get. One is amplification, so it's retweets or shares. One is conversation, so it's about the amount of comments or quote tweets you get. And then there's conversion, so it's basically clicks on links, sign up to newsletters, these sorts of things. Really understanding what you want this audience to do before you start writing your messages is really important. So say you're looking at maybe brand awareness and affiliation. Well, you want a higher applause rate. So you want more people liking it so they develop some sort of connection to it. If you want a wider audience, you're trying to get retweets, and in which case you can even write into your comment, into your text, retweet to share this because blah, blah, blah. If you want to develop community more, it's about, you know, building trust. Well, then you're looking at trying to get comments and get people to chat to you, but then you have to be open and ready to reply. And finally, conversion is basically like the thing that you really want them to do. Is it to go to the website? Is it to sign up? Basically, you will create the content in such a way that adds value and asks them to do this thing. So I think that's really important to keep in mind at the start.